I just want to share a little bit of experience. As a younger kid, my family moved to rural areas, in a farm area very much. So we built a house around the rice field. So I saw little rats running around looking for rice. Okay. And I still remember my mom at the time told me, never waste food because you will be reincarnated as a little rat running around looking for food. So I for the rest of my life, I never waste food. Not that I believe that I would become a little rat if I did. But that's one of the things. And the other thing is when I was escaping from Vietnam on a little boat, in an open sea for 5 days, without water, without food. And I still remember that we tried, a group of us, 32 people on a boat, trying to catch the water from the rain to drink in those 5 days. So it really values the resource that we have, especially water and food. And my years serving in the church in Zambia back in the 1990s for 3 years. And there were times that in seminary we would send seminarians home because we did not have water. So I think it's important for us as a church, as individuals, and individual organization, that to help the society to have a deep inner conversion. So my question is to you and to every one of us, in which way can we as a church to help the society have a deep conversion, that each of us and every one of us has a duty to protect the earth and to ensure its fruitfulness for coming generation. That's coming from paragraph 67.
Well, the comment that I will make is, even as individuals, we have so many resources that even we don't value them. It takes us formation, spiritual direction, those meetings with advisors, with conversations with teachers, with others, with another person, to realize sometimes that I have something that I have not valued. And I can say that in religious life and now as a bishop, I discover more and more things, even just that in me. But there is so much, and how to think about the resources in the community here in Assumption, or in your family, in the case of some of you who have your own families. What are the resources? Maybe to start valuing what already we have, and then what we are lacking, to see it in the perspective of what other people are lacking. Because sometimes we feel that we deserve something, but we do not believe. It's like that message from the scripture, treat others as you want to be treated, and with the same measure and that principle applies to this conversion that is needed. You mentioned another word that is the fruitfulness, or it's a duty to recreate or to be sure that the fruits of creation happen, that they take place. So if they do not, that is room there to say why and what can I do? What should I do? I say should because it's a duty. And that is another way to read this topic, and is one of the takeaway that I have that I consider is the injustice. And all of us, we have experienced someone to be, or something, a system to be unjust to me, but also we have been unjust to others, or we have been taking advantage. Those even is a phrase in English that maybe we have to ponder if it's a healthy phrase. To take advantage. It's not to take advantage. It's just to use properly, to have that opportunity, but not to take advantage, And when we see injustices taking place, and now there's all over the world, we see that very clearly just listening to the news. And now, especially the information is digital and is right away, we can be aware of injustices. But there is something in the document that writes, injustice, it says, injustice is not invincible. When I read that phrase, it caused at least a little bit of waking up and saying, so let's take the next step. So we cannot change everything. Father Jaime has been very aware of how to, with some ideas that came from the community of the seminary, to beautify the place. Well, don't expect that will be a forest, okay? There are more trees, and they are this big, But it's move forward. It's a move forward. So injustice is not invisible. I mean, not invisible. Invincible. Invincible. Injustice is not invincible.
Thank you, Archbishop.
You're welcome.